Come on in, everybody. Come on in, everybody. Let's make sure I got everything set up over here. Mic check. Let me do a volume check. I don't want to have some crazy technical issues like I've had some time ago. So if you guys can hear me and can see me, let's make sure that everything is good and there's no cracking or no popping going on. Don't want that to happen this morning. Am I live? One person?
I see no card.
What is it?
I see all the camera stuff.
Oh, the camera stuff. Yes. We're going to have to do something real fast. Professor Black Ops in the house. You guys can hear me. Peace. We got some. All right, guys. You know what? This is. Can you hear me?
No.
All right. So Professor Black Ops said he can hear me. What about now?
Oh, we're good.
All right. Perfect. Let me get this camera right too. Good morning. Got James Salmon in the house, man. We got Professor Black Ops in the house, guys. You're gonna be cooking with me this morning. I have the flat top going. Let me get this thing fired up. What we're going to do is we're going to do another restream of the conversation we had a week ago where we were talking about software sales. But before I do that, let me just get this thing fired up. James Sandman's in the house. Professor Black Ops is in the house. Peace and blessings, he says. Uh-oh, we got Aston in the house. I appreciate you. We got Tiffany Wade in the house. Yes. So you guys are actually able to see. It's a beautiful morning here in the beautiful city of Austin, Texas. And guys, what we're going to be doing today is you guys are going to be cooking, man. I decided I wanted to have this show. You guys know it was my birthday on Thursday. It was a busy day. And I probably only got a chance to see the family for maybe a couple hours that day, and they sung to me later on that night and so forth. But I need a punch. I'm already behind. And it was a great celebration though, but it was a busy day. And it's a busy day because, sales, when things get busy, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this live stream today. I'm going to be doing a recap of what we talked about on last Monday, where I was struggle streaming. And you guys heard all this mic pop action, and all of a sudden, nobody told me until I was like maybe an hour into the live stream. We're not going to let that happen today, guys. If you guys hear any sort of mic pop action going on, do let me know. I really would appreciate that. If you guys know. Thank you, sweetie. So my wife just bought me some coffee, so I got some coffee to sip on while smoking my cigar as well too. So yeah, I want to start off by saying, guys, thank you for joining me this morning. I'm a little bit late. Obviously, you can tell I'm a little bit late because I had a lot of crap going on. I have a nice little studio outside because I'm going to be cooking on the flat top this morning, cooking breakfast. Last night we did a outdoor movie, so you guys see the screen up out back, and we let the kids watch Addams Family. And of course the kids said, "Daddy, can you wake up and cook us some pancakes?" So I was like, all right, we're gonna wake up and cook you some pancakes, and I'm gonna do my live stream at the same time. while also talking about software sales. Let's see who's all in here. Let's see who's all in here. Ashton says, what's on the menu today? What's on the menu is hash browns, eggs, sausage, a little bit of tech sales, whatever questions you guys have, and let's see how I can manage this all, right? It's going to be interesting. Kamal's in the house as well too. Brother Kamal is a Patreon member. I appreciate you for being here, Brother Kamal. Good morning to you, sir. Who else is in the house, man? Who else do we have in the house? Okay, well, let us get started, man. Let us get started. I'm going to try not to run afoul here, right? Because it's easy to run afoul when you're trying to manage so many things. But let me get a sip of my coffee. And let us get started. So we're going to be talking about tech sales. And the first thing I want you guys to know is, what is tech sales? Well, let me get this, make sure this is heated up. Tech sales is this, guys. Whenever somebody talks about tech sales, they're going to be talking about software sales, right? That's the majority of what people are going to be talking about. They're going to be talking about software sales. And software sales is considered to be SaaS sales. SaaS sales is software as a service, SaaS. And you're going to see that often if you're going to ever get into tech sales. And it is the best way for you to make a lot of money in the sales industry. I'm going to tell you like this. It's the highest paying industry in sales that exists out there. And that's the reason why I'm in it. And that's the reason why, I'm going to stay in it for probably another year, 6 months or something like that. Because you can get to the money. It is very, 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 very lucrative. And what I would say about tech sales is there's a lot that goes into it, but I want to, in this early part of this video while I'm cooking as much as I can, right, I want to explain all of this because many of you don't know exactly all the components of software sales, tech sales, and so forth. So SaaS sales, SaaS, software as a service, and I want you guys to think about it like this. So most software sales are SaaS sales, tech sales. Same thing most people call it, right? SaaS, tech sales, so forth. I want you guys to think about it like this. Many of you guys have Netflix accounts. You have a Netflix account. Netflix is a software as a service. It is hosted in the cloud by Netflix, right? They are responsible for making sure that they have the storage and all this other stuff as well too. You as the consumer pays Netflix basically an annual monthly fee, or a monthly service fee, not an annual fee, a monthly service fee. I'm sure Netflix does have an annual subscription package where they give you a discount if you were to, prepay it for one full year. But most companies who are SaaS, especially where a company like Netflix who operates business to consumer, you are the consumer, business being Netflix, right? They operate business to consumer, and what most software companies or SaaS companies do with business to consumers is they allow for you to pay it monthly. And if at any point in time you don't want to use that software, all you got to do is cancel your monthly subscription. So that's what the essence of software as a service is. It is a software company or a product company or a tech company who builds a solution, a software package, stores it up in the cloud, and allows for you to purchase it and for you to pay a monthly subscription on it. So, right, it's like leasing. If you think about it, like a car lease, right? You go and lease a car from people, but you don't get locked in a long-term contract. You can get out of that contract as much as possible. So what SaaS is. Well, most SaaS sales is a business to business. So you think about it as something like a Microsoft or something like a Salesforce. Both of these companies are businesses, and Salesforce could be selling Microsoft software that Microsoft would pay a monthly subscription on or an annual subscription on, monthly or annually, however they set the contract up. And that is business to business, business Microsoft, business Salesforce. Salesforce selling, or Salesforce owning a solution and creating a solution because they're a technology company, and allowing for Microsoft to buy it, to use it, right? So that is the essence of software as a service. That's the essence of technology sales and so forth. I wanted to make sure that I broke that down at a fundamental level. All right, so let's do this. While I'm chirping along, Okay, what about now? Let's get my mic back on. Mic check, mic check. All right. Multitasking is a great move for the family. Yes, Professor Black Guys, I'm coming over for breakfast. Kamal says good morning. Piro says good morning. James Sandman says I'm coming over for breakfast. You can come over, brother. Modbot. Okay, that's my brother Minzy. Minzy, I appreciate the super chat. Unfortunate with this software, brother. I cannot show that on the screen, but I do appreciate the super chat, my man. I do appreciate the super chat. Um, Professor Black Ops said, I'm multitasking. Yes, so this could be a struggle stream. It's already 11 minutes, and I haven't even started cooking yet, and I haven't even got to most of the video yet. So it is what it is. You guys are going to see me struggle streaming today with a little bit of cooking for the family, right? You're going to see me struggle streaming while also having a conversation with you guys, okay? Before the beans is in here as well too, my brother. He says salute to the chat. Noah, my brother Noah's Patreon member is in the house. Good morning, ladder climbers. Professor Blackout said, Kamal, good luck. I review SaaS products for security and federal sites. If you have any questions, reach out. Absolutely, man. We got some people in the house. I'm glad that you guys are, chatting it up. Audio is back. Noah says, I appreciate that, brother. And here's the thing, guys. So I want to say something to my Patreon members, guys. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Noah, Patreon member, Kamal, Patreon member. Guys, what I have done is on the professional premium, the professional premium subscription on the Patreon, I have basically unpublished it. We have reached our total for our Patreon members. And I really appreciate you guys. That's going to be our inner circle. We're going to have our first meet and greet on November the 6th via Zoom so that we can all get a chance to know each other and leverage each other and then start to, obviously leverage each other in the community, right? And that's what we're doing. We're building a community. But what I also have done is if you aren't a premium Patreon member, I've created a professional standard member. So whenever there's a slot that opens up in the premium professional membership, you will have access to it. And also you will have one coaching session with me once a year for a premium standard as well too. But you'll get access to the wonderful community that exists in the Black Hikes community. And I think it's an opportunity for you guys to join the Patreon as well too, to become part of the exclusive membership on the Black Heights membership. So I wanted to make sure I said that, and I appreciate your Patreon members for rocking with me, guys. Thank you so much. We're flying this plane, and we're building this plane at the same time. But now that I already have the membership locked, we're going to go full head of steam. Okay. And matter of fact, you guys are going to be getting your hats in the mail. These caps, right? You guys are going to be getting your hats in the mail if you haven't gotten them already. Right, you'll be getting, I think, Noah, yours should be probably, if you didn't get yours on yesterday, you should get yours today, or if it's not on today, it will be on Monday. UPS package, UPS shipping, that's what we're doing over here to send these hats, okay? All right. Aston says, volume sounds good. Your mic is very low, Ghost says. Okay, well, let me turn my mic up, or I need to do this. Let's do this. Let's get my mic up. Let's do that. Here we go. 1 second. All right, all right, all right. Mic is low. All right. Stay home, stay home. Your mic is very low. Volume sounds good here. Okay, well, I think that may be your issue, Ghost, or either one you're trolling. And if he's trolling, we're going to have to get him out of here. All right. So let's get back to this. I'm going to get the hash browns on because the hash browns need to cook. And if I stay here all day without the hash browns being on, guys, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. So hash browns are going on first. And let me continue on to talk about sales, guys. Let me continue on to talk about sales. So here's the thing, right? With software as a service, tech sales, you think about it from a business to business perspective again. Business Salesforce selling over to Microsoft, right? They are able to, leverage a contract and so forth. And the reason why tech sales and salespeople are very important for companies like Salesforce and Microsoft is this. Let me back up for a quick second. So going back to the business consumer model, as I explained to you guys, right? Netflix example. Many of you guys have a Netflix account. You don't need a salesperson for that. And the reason why you don't need a salesperson for that is because you can just sign up, right? You can sign up online, you can cancel. They have the interfaces and they have the websites and all that other stuff working just fine, right? Well, that's not the same for large company purchases. That's not the same for large company purchases between business to business. And this is the reason why salespeople is needed, because a Netflix subscription may cost you $5.99 a month, right? Netflix may cost you $5.99 a month. Well, if you're talking about buying a Salesforce solution, this may cost you. It could be $30,000 a month. It could be $100,000 a month. It could be $600,000 a month, right? And here's the thing: a company isn't going to spend that amount of money without having somebody that they can talk to. A company is not going to spend $600,000 a month or $30,000 a month without having somebody to talk to. And this is where the sales professional come in at, right? So Salesforce, they have a CRM system. You can adapt it for your Salesforce. You can adapt it for your support organization. You can adapt it for many things. Well, if a company like Microsoft, let's just say Professor Black Ops works for Microsoft, right? Well, if Professor Black Ops knows that he's been using spreadsheets for quite some time, and he's like, you know what, I'm sick of using spreadsheets every single day. I have to send this out to multiple people and so forth. I don't have a good understanding what the forecast may look like for this month or next month and so forth. Professor Black Ops said, you know what, man, I'm done with using these spreadsheets. I'm going to look for a solution in the market for it. He can do his research and so forth and find out that Salesforce has a solution for his sales forecasting and reports and all this other stuff. If he has a hiring decision, he can work with his team to purchase that software. When he goes to make that purchase of that software, he's going to be working with a salesperson. That salesperson is going to show him how that solution, the Salesforce solution, can fit or meet the needs of Professor Black Ops. He's going to tell him all the ins and outs of that software. He's going to work with them to make sure they can run demos of that software. He's going to understand Professor Black Ops nuances that he has to deal with and all the problems that he wants to solve. And he's going to work to make sure that transaction gets closed, and he's going to get a commission off of that. Okay, so that's the whole essence of why a salesperson is actually needed in tech sales, is because these companies are making big time purchases. $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month. It could be $20,000 a month, or it could be millions of dollars a month that these companies are purchasing, right? In order for or they're buying and subscribing to, and you're going to need a salesperson to help you make that ultimate buying decision. And not only that, let's flip it back over to my hash browns, guys. Not only do you need a salesperson to help you make that ultimate buying decision, right? You're going to need a team to help implement that as well too. And the salesperson is going to ultimately guide you through the process of making that buying decision. And the reason why the salesperson is going to do that is because most people don't make or have the opportunity to make that sort of a purchase multiple times in their life, and their job is at stake when they make a large transaction like that, because it's an ultimate business decision. And you want to do what's right for the business, make the business more efficient, get the things that you need throughout the business. So if you screw up on a purchase like that, your career could be sunk, right? So this is why, Professor Black Ops or anybody else who's in sales, they're very important, because they're helping people make ultimate buying decisions on these large purchases. So I wanted to make sure that you guys got that fundamental part of it as well too. All right, let's get these hash browns going. You guys starting to see this thing turning brown. Look at that, man. Look at that. I'm gonna need some more oil over here. Got a little bit of stick action going on. And the cool thing about these hash browns is that on this flat top, guys, it's on this side over here. On the side that I'm cooking on, I have it at high heat. On this side over here, I have this side, right? This zone over here, low. And I have this side over here, medium. And I have this one right here, kind of in between. So you guys will start to see, once I'm get these hash browns on, these things are going to cook relatively fast. and then I'm going to move on to some of the meats and so forth. So I broke that down there. So let's talk about what happens when a transaction occurs. Let's talk about what happens when a transaction occurs when, let's just say, I sell Professor Black Ops, who's working at Microsoft, a solution, right? Well, what happens is I get a commission for that sale. So that sale could be $1,000,000. I could get 15% of that commission for that sale. 15% of $1,000,000, that's $150,000. And not only that, let's talk about the pay. So typically in software sales, what ends up happening is this. You will get a base commission. You will get a base commission if you are working for a company, and your base commission is going to be high depending on if the sales cycle for that company is long. Some solutions take a lot longer to sell than Salesforce. Salesforce average, when they sell a solution to one of these larger companies, it could be 4 weeks or 6 weeks or a month, right? Typically, then your base commission or your base compensation will be low. If you are on the, if your sales cycles take 6 months to a year, your base salary is going to be higher. And they pay salespeople very well from a base salary perspective, okay? They pay them very well. You could be making $160,000 a year, right? And from a base salary perspective, and then get 15% on every sale that you close. So if you have a $150,000 base salary, and then you sell $1,000,000 worth of software at 15%, that's already $300,000 that you make in a traditional year, right? A lot of money, a lot of money. And what I would also say is this: is if you cap out on your quota, and let me talk about quota. Quota is how much you need to sell in a given year, right? And if you make your quota, you hit a certain percent of your of how much money you're making on top of that or on that, and then if you go above that, they may turn that 15% that you make on every sale to 30% or 40% or 50%, right? And that's going to allow for you to make even more money. So it's a very lucrative job. It's a very, very lucrative job. And this is why I'm encouraging you guys to consider a career into tech sales, because it's a very lucrative job, guys. You can make a whole bunch of money if you know how to sell. And let's talk about this too. So when you're selling to large companies, a lot of the times, it's not about the overall solution. It's not about the overall solution. What it's about a lot of the times is it's about how you connect with others. How do you make them feel? How do you build relationships? What sort of empathy that you have for them, right? Because they're going through some struggles, they're going through a challenge, they start trying to solve a problem. And if you're able to connect with the customer to show them that and guide them along the buying journey, because here's the thing, you don't sell to other people, they actually buy from you. I want to make that very clear. You don't sell to other people, they actually buy from you guys. And if you were to sell somebody something, more than likely they're going to have a bad experience because you're pushing something on them. But if they buy from you and they have a good buying experience, building a relationship and all that stuff, and they feel like they are very comfortable in making this purchasing decision, more than likely they're going to buy from you. So it's very important when you're in sales to be able to build relationships with people, to have empathy with people, to be a problem solver, to have creativity and so forth. Ooh, these hash browns are starting to get crispy now, man. These hash browns are starting to get crispy. Let me jump over to the chat real fast too, while I am cooking up these hash browns. The family, I don't know about you guys, but the family loves their hash browns crispy, man. They love their hash browns crispy. All right, let's get these over here. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to jump over to the chat to see what questions you guys may have. These multitasking stuff is interesting. We got Tiffany Waves in the house. Thank you for the heads up, Ghost. We'll keep an eye on his volume. Good morning, Ladder Climbers Black. What's up, Crispin? Good morning, Crispin. Crispin is a Patreon member as well. We got Jabron in the house. I have that hat in black. Just came as I was watching this. See, my Patreon members are getting their hats. If you guys haven't gotten them, they should be coming to you this weekend if they haven't gotten to you already. Many of them have got them already. PBO's in the house. Ghost says, Tiffany Wade, I just wanted to help because he said he had some problems in his mic before. Yes, I appreciate you, Ghost. I appreciate you. It seems like the mic's problem seems to be working just fine. Guys, if you're not the only, so I want to make sure of this. If Ghost is having a problem, hopefully it's not on his side. But if you guys are hearing a problem with my mic, do let me know. Do let me know if you guys are having a problem with the mic as well too. But if my mic sounds good, guys, give me a 1 in the chat. Leave me a 1 in the chat if you guys are hearing me just fine from a mic perspective. And Ghost, I really do appreciate you, sir. I really do appreciate you, man. I was hoping you wasn't trolling me, man. I'm trying to cook at the same time and talk about software sales. To be quite honest with you, it's an interesting topic to have on a Saturday morning while I'm cooking and multitasking like this, right? But I decided to do it because that's what we do over here. That's what we do over here. All right, so we got the hash browns. I'm going to let these crisp up a little bit more. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to turn on this side, this burner. And I'm going to start with the meats over here, guys, because one of the things that you have to be conscious of when you're cooking on these flat tops is the temperatures, but also, guys, the grease drippage. Everybody likes bacon. Everybody likes bacon. Everybody likes bacon. Let's check this out. Got the bacon on. Let's get that bacon going. All right. Man, I'm turning into a Saturday morning cook show for you guys, man. Let's use a little bit more salt. And Miss Wade, this is that kosher salt, man. I like the small granules of the salt. Next time, hook your husband up with the smaller granules, baby. All right, we got the bacon on. I think I have peppered this enough. This is going to be nice and good. All right, and let's do this too. While we're at it, since I'm putting the meats on, we got some other sauces going over here as well too. You guys don't know what this is. You guys don't know what this is, but it's sausage rolls, spicy sausage rolls. And Miss Wade, if you're watching, can you do me a favor and come grab these meat bags and remove them from off my table? That would be a very appreciated, ma'am. Okay. Put that right there. Oil. Can you do me a favor, man? Can you what's this? What was the question that came in? Let's see this. Where is it at? Where is it at? Subscribe. Which one for who, man? I can't see the question. Engineering cannabis. With the tech from Facebook or Meta discuss on how tech sales will be important. With the new tech from Facebook or Meta discuss how the tech. Oh my gosh. Oh, engineering cannabis. That's a fantastic question, my man. That's a fantastic question. So let's do this. I'm gonna get to that question on here because I want to make sure that you guys are will hear this question, can see the question as well too. Oh, that's a very good question, engineering cannabis. So you think about this. Think about it from the aspect of what the meta universe or what Facebook is trying to do. They're trying to change the perception of the world. And they're trying to turn everything into augmented reality and virtual reality and to give you guys a full experience when you're in your own house, but you have a different sort of experience. Tech sales is very important from this aspect of it, right? When this turns into the business being able to be conducted this way, right? Tech salespeople are going to be able to, or they're going to be needed in order for them to sell these types of solutions and sell these types of solutions to business customers, right? If you think about it, if we're talking about this from a standpoint of, Meta being you buy a headset and you launch some software that is in your own home, like a Netflix or something like that, you're not going to really need salespeople for that, right? But if you're talking about a business transaction, if you're going to be talking about a business transaction where you're going to see somebody like Microsoft leveraging this sort of solution in their warehouses or in their storage rooms, or let's just say if it was a FedEx or something like that, who were able to use, right, the virtual reality in some capacity, and it was a solution that they use in the distribution centers or something like that, you're going to need salespeople to be able to sell that to companies like FedEx, companies like Microsoft, companies like Home Depot and things like that. So tech salespeople are going to be very important in that aspect of making sure that this solution, when it's ready for a business use and it has a business case, to be able to sell that to that business. And I can tell you this right now, man. It can be very expensive, especially with it launching right now and them pushing towards it, right? It's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very lucrative for you as well too. But I would say this: I would look past it from a consumer perspective right now, engineering cannabis, and the reason why is because you don't really need salespeople for consumers making purchases. When Facebook bought the company, I think it was Oculus or something like that. You can just go out on a site and buy that headgear. You don't need a salesperson for that at all. But what you will need a salesperson if it had a business use behind it. If a company like Microsoft was going to adopt it and stuff like that, you would certainly then need a sales force and a sales people to be able to do that. So salespeople are very important, guys, again, I want to make sure I make this clear when it comes to tech sales, but making sure that business transactions happen, right? And those business transactions, they're going to happen at a very high dollar value. Not $5 a month like we're paying for our Netflix account. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars a month of a subscription. And this is very expensive software for businesses. And most businesses only get an opportunity, or people, if they're in these leadership positions, only get one opportunity to make a buying decision like this. And they don't want to screw it up. So that's why salespeople are important. Let's do this as well too. So let's talk. We already talked about the commissions and things like that, how much you can make. And guys, I appreciate you guys for joining me this morning while I'm cooking on the flat top, man. I appreciate you guys joining me this morning for this. You can tell that I haven't done this in quite some time. Coffee's good. Coffee's good. Let's get back to the chat. Ashley, what are you cooking? Bran, what am I cooking on? I am cooking on the Camp Chef. I am cooking on, turn that volume down too, babe. I'm cooking on the Camp Chef. And this is a Camp Chef 4-burner flat top. Blind guy, his wife, their life. I appreciate you guys for the super chat. Thank you so much. Here's something for the fruit and vegetables to go with that bacon. The only fruit and vegetables that I'm going to be eating right now is potatoes. No, we're going to have some in our pancakes, actually. Ashton, I appreciate the super chat as well. For that sizzle, you're making me hungry, Black Heights. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you too, Ms. Wade, for bringing that up to my attention. Let's go here. Let's continue down on the chats, guys. Thank you for rocking with me this morning too, man. Everybody's saying the mic sounds good. James Sandman, for a chef, you're a hell of a businessman. I don't know about being a chef, man. I don't know about being a chef. I tell you that right now. I am just, getting this stuff done, man. Getting this done. Here, oh, look at this, guys. I'm going to show you something. What else, babe? You need something? What's that? Okay. Before the beans. My wife said before the beans had a super chat or he had a question. What was the question, Ms. Wade? Can you point me to it? I'm in here. Let's find your question before the beans. Okay. I am not seeing that right now. Okay. Before the beans, if you have that question, if you don't mind, re-chat that question to me as well too. I definitely will get to it. My wife just came out and said there was a question that came up and I can't find it right now. Casual Cunningham says, this stream is making me too hungry. It's hard to concentrate. Hey, man. What is the... Oh yeah, so before the beans, that's a very good question. Okay, if you're in tech sales, do you get a salary or is it commission based? And I hit on that. I hit on that already. But let me with all the food that's going on, when you're in tech sales, you actually get a salary as well. So when you're in tech sales, you get a salary, a base salary, and typically your base salary is very high. Typically your base salary is very high. It could be $150,000 a year. It could be $130,000 a year. It could be $100,000 a year. It really depends on the actual company. A lot of companies choose to pay their tech salespeople very, very high because here's the thing: it's a return on investment for them. You think about it, this aspect of it, right? If you are coming out of school and they pay you $100,000 a year and you sell 2 million, right? That's a huge return on investment for that company, right? And that's why sales is important for companies. And I say this all the time: sales is the lifeblood of a company, right? Because if you don't have sales, the company is not going to grow. Sales is going to fund every single thing inside that company. So they're going to pay you a base salary and they're going to give you a commission on top of that. So I use the example of they pay you a $100,000 base salary and you sell, let's just say 2 million. Your commission could be 15% on top of that. That's an extra $300,000, right? Or if you sell 1 million and 50% of 1 million is $150,000. So it's a lucrative field to be in before the beans. Very, very lucrative. And they pay you a base salary as well as a commission. Okay. And here's the piece of it, right? If you come out of school making $100,000 a year and you're rocking it and you're killing it, right? There's always a need for salespeople because companies want to grow, and companies are always looking for good salespeople, because good salespeople are hard to come by. Good salespeople are very hard to come by. The majority of salespeople that I come across, they are average at best. I would say it like Kevin Samuels say it, right? They're average at best. Doesn't matter how long they've been in the game. They get old, they get stale, and they're average at best. But the young ones that I've seen, who come from out of different industries and so forth, or different organizations, project management. I made that video the other day on project management and so forth, and how that can translate to being a good salesperson because you're very detail oriented. But if you were to come from out of school making $100,000 a year, you're at one company, you made $300,000 because you closed 1 million. If you're that good, you can really go to another company and they can say, you know what? I know you're good. You have the results to prove it. I'm going to pay you $200,000 a year for a base salary and then give you 15% commission. Because if you're going to rock it to a point where they're going to pay you $200,000 a year, but you're selling $1 million, that's $800,000 that the company got in return for you, outside of the commissions that they may give you and stuff like that. But it's still a huge return on investment for a company. So of course they're going to pay their salespeople very good because, hey, again, why not? I would take this all day. I would pay somebody $200,000 a year if they're going to sell $2 million for the company. That $2 million is going to fund a lot of things within inside the company, from the marketing aspect, from the product development, from the support, from the the customer service, all right, the customer success. It's going to fund just about every single thing inside that organization. Here's the other thing as well too, is that if you outsource a lot of this stuff, it's going to fund even more people. So that's why salespeople are important, guys. They're very important. But the fact of the matter is that you do get a base salary as well as a commission on top of that. And let me explain this too. Let me explain this piece of it. I love to use, I got to use different cooking utensils for the different parts of the grill. Nobody likes their meat to be touched by their potatoes and so forth. They like the grease, but they don't like the meats. Okay, do a nice little flip over here. All right. So it's important. So let me talk to you guys about a day in the life of a salesperson, right? Because before I even get there, let me address this piece of it, because a lot of people, wanting to get into sales and they want to know where to start, right? They want to know where to start. Now I'm going to put it down to its base level. When let's just say you're an MIS graduate, and I like to start fresh. If you're an MIS graduate, the first position that you can get into sales is what you consider to be a sales development rep or a business development rep. And you guys know how there's times, or in the past, right, your Girl Scouts, they will come in, you know, the Girl Scouts will come and knock on your door and sell cookies to you, right? Well, with that being said, that is door to door. That's door knocking. That is door knocking, and that is sales, right? Coming on your door to do to try to sell you Girl Scout cookies and so forth. Well, SDRs and BDRs, and SDR stands for a sales development rep, and a business development rep is the exact same thing. Companies call them different, but basically what they are is they are door knockers for companies, and that's the lowest level role that you would get as a sales professional. And it is the entry level role that you'll get as a sales professional. So if you guys are in IT, right, you know how a lot of people start their careers off at the help desk. Well, a SDR and a BDR is kind of like that help desk role in order for you to transition into a sales role. And basically what these guys do is this. They are the ones that are metaphorically knocking on doors of companies, because let's just say we use that example of PBO working for Microsoft, right? Well, a PBO does some research on a solution. If PBO does a research on a solution and he just goes to Salesforce page, right? Well, he may not be wanting to buy at this point in time, but what he could potentially do is this, is he can, go do Salesforce documentation and so forth. And it's the BDR's responsibility or SDR's responsibility to reach out to Professor Black Ops to say, okay, well, we see that you went through this information on our website. Now let's go ahead and do you want to set up a meeting? And they are the people who are going to be reaching out to Professor Black Ops, who works for Microsoft, to set up a call and schedule a meeting with him to understand what his needs are. So they are the door knockers. They are the door knockers inside of a business. They're the people that's responsible for getting meetings set up and to transition that over to the salespeople. Let me put that again. So the BDRs, SDRs, or door knockers, they're the people who are responsible for cold calling a lot of the times. They're the people that's responsible for emailing potential prospects, because a lot of times people just go to Salesforce. Like if I went to Salesforce right now and look at the information, they're going to see that I'm Antoine Wade and I work for Black Heights. So more than likely somebody's going to contact me to say, okay, well, what interest do you have and why were you on Salesforce, right? Or is there anything that I can do for you and so forth? And they're going to what you would call qualify me. It's called qualifying to see if I'm a potential buyer, if I'm going to fit their niche. And if I do, they're going to set up a meeting and they're going to understand my needs, and then they're going to transition that to the salesperson. Let me get to some of the questions. We got a super chat that came in just now too. Super chat for $9.99. Here's is my payment for a plate and great answers. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the beans. I appreciate you, brother. And before the beans also said this: how can you improve your sales skills? I love that one. That's a very good question. How can you improve your sales skills? I think one of the best ways that you can improve your sales skills is this. It's not about talking. It's not about being articulate. It's about being a good active listener. It's about being a good active listener and being a problem solver. If you're a good active listener and a problem solver, you're going to improve your sales skills. If you are a person that has empathy and walks in the shoes of your customers, you're going to be a person that has good sales skills. If you are a person that can make people like you from a relationship into personal skills, right? Developing strong relationships with people, you are going to be a person that is, or you're going to be improving your sales skills. It's all about empathy, relationship building, communicating, solving problems, and so forth. That's going to be absolutely fantastic way. That's going to be a fantastic way that you can improve your sales skills. So think about it. It's all soft skills, guys. It's all soft skills. As a person who comes from a tech background and was scared to go into software sales, guys, I can tell you this right now. My experience is this, is you can build a relationship with your customers. And when you build that relationship with your customer, they're going to want to buy from you because they don't want to have to consistently go to other people. They don't want to do it. They're going to say, okay, well, you have the solution I'm going to buy from Antoine. You have the solution, I'm going to buy from Antoine. Why? Because I know Antoine's going to deliver. I know Antoine's going to deliver, so you're going to have to be a person that can problem solve, can, make sure you can lead as well too, and make sure you stick to your promises. And at the end of the day, it's about interpersonal skills, having empathy, problem solving, and so forth. Those are the best skills that really help salespeople get to a premium standard salesperson. Guys, I think Miss Wade, I am really thinking that the hash browns is done. So in about 2 minutes, if you don't mind, come outside with a plate or a styrofoam with some paper towel in it so that we can drain some of the grease from off of it. But I think the hash browns are just about done. Okay. Let's continue on. So, what is a day in the life of a salesperson, guys? Well, I can tell you this. It is one of the most flexible careers that you can have. And when I say flexible is because if you are able to schedule your day the correct way, you would have a lot of free time on your hands. I can tell you this, as a person that's been in sales for 3 years, I've had the most flexibility being in sales than I've ever had in my life at any of the roles that I've had in my life, okay? I wake up typically early, get a nice little workout in, or go for a nice little long walk. I then jump on my emails and I set my meetings. Typically on a Monday, I start it that way. I think about every meeting that I want to set up during that week, and I start to plan around that. I book my calendar to schedule these meetings, and once I'm done with these meetings, I make sure, or booking these meetings, I wait for responses throughout the week. If people can meet a certain time, it could be 1 week, could be the same week, could be a couple weeks out. I then try to do some education component of it where I'm learning a little bit more about the solution. And typically, if I don't have, if I'm making progress on a deal, I want to stay and look at that and work on that as much as possible by jumping on the phone, working with my solution consultants and so forth. And then from there, I'm done. I could start my day at, let's just say, Thursday. I started my day at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I was done. Well, Thursday was a long day. That was my birthday. I was done probably at like 9 o'clock at night. But most days, I can start my day at 6 o'clock in the morning and be done by 12, or done by 2, or done by 1 o'clock. And that's why I'm able to have the flexibility to, go on a golf course or go to the vineyard and spend some time with my family during the week, because I have that flexibility to do that, right? And or I can do this. I can say, you know what? I'm not going to. I can go to the golf course and work from there, or I can go to the country club, or I can go to the vineyard and work directly from there, because the majority of things that you're going to be doing is setting up appointments and talking to people on the phone. So you can work just about anywhere while you're in sales, guys. Now, you do have to do a lot of traveling, I must say that. Prior to COVID, I was on the road at least twice a week, going to visit customers, doing the wining and dining, staying in nice, lavish hotels and stuff like that. That's a beautiful part of it, but also that comes with sacrificing being away from your family, being able to cook, spend these sorts of, weekend plans with them as well too. Yeah. Let's bring that over here real fast. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take these hash browns off, guys. And that's going to get hot, so let me move this out of the way. I don't want that to fall. All right, just give me 1 second. Hash browns are done. They're nice and crispy. Got a little bit of bacon grease in it. You guys saw how I did that, right? Everybody likes a little bit of taste of bacon on their potatoes. All right, guys, 1 second. Let's do this. All right. Thank you, sweetheart. That's hot. That's going to be hot, okay? All right, and I have my sisters. My sisters flew in from, or not flew in, they drove in from Wisconsin to spend some time with me on my birthday. And yeah, they're rocking with me this week, guys. They're rocking with me. Let's get this. The cool thing about this flat top, guys, is, again, it's the amount of space, what you can do with it. You see this bacon, how this went really fast. I get that all spread out now. This sausage is over here just cooking. Now that I don't have the hash browns on here, I can double hand it this one better when it comes to chopping the sauces up. So a day in the life of a salesperson is very flexible. You can work just about anywhere that you want. You do a lot of traveling. The thing is, you get a nice little budget to wine and dine your customers. I've flown over to Europe. I've flown to, whether it was London or whether it was Barcelona, whether it was Bucharest, Romania, Czech Republic, and so forth, Asia. It is a very, very fun career to be in. And a lot of people just choose not to go into it because they think that the salesperson, a traditional salesperson, is what they saw before in the past. So if you have to be the slick hair, good guy with a mouthpiece and so forth. Well, you guys already know that, man. Somebody who has a good mouthpiece and don't deliver, they aren't crap. You see a lot of these people in, communities and stuff like that, right? These are the type of people that JT Pocket Watching be talking about when he have his shows, right? So don't just think that a salesperson is the car salesman, because that's not how it is, and that's definitely not how it is in tech sales. These are the type of people, if you were to take that approach, you would probably be kicked out of a room. That's not how it works in real life. All right, let's get back to the chats. Let's get back to the chats over here. We got some more people into this. Okay, Noah says, I am looking to transition to tech sales as well. I have been approached by a few companies for a BDM roles as well. That's fantastic, Noah. As I mentioned before, I think the last live stream we talked about you. You mentioned that you were interested in sales, and Noah, for you specifically, you will do good in sales, right? You're already an account manager. You're already managing people. You already have that leadership. You would do a fantastic in sales, man. And not only that, you also talked about how you were improving your soft skills, right? And becoming more of an extrovert. That was certainly helping with developing relationships. So no, I think for you personally, brother, you're going to do fantastic into a sales role. We also have, let's see, Christian says, question, if you're not a college grad, how would you get started in tech sales? Would the path be the same for MIS grad? By the way, I'm college grad. I'm, however, asking for a non-grad. Well, if you are a college non-grad, one of the things that you just have to be really creative, Christian, in order for you to get into sales, man. I mean, you really have to be creative. So you have to really get into or show some results that you've been able to sell something before in your past. And Miss Wade, if you can, do me a favor. Can you bring out something that we can put the bacon on? This bacon is starting to get really crispy. We're the way we like it, and it's going to be ready. But here's the thing. You're going to want to be very creative and start to network with people who are in sales, who are in the same roles that you want to be in, right? And from there, you're going to have to start from the bottom. Try to get into a role as an SDR, BDR to prove yourself. And from there, once you are able to prove yourself doing the things that SDRs and BDRs do, somebody will take a shot on you. Somebody will take a shot on you for sure, right? Especially if you're able to show results, because that's the thing. People need good salespeople. So there's I think the other day I saw there was over 60,000 sales jobs that exist out there, and companies are always looking to bring in good talent. So if you can prove that you are able to get results, whether you have a degree or not, you're going to be able to get into tech sales, guys. But I would say this: start with a mentor. Start with somebody who, or is in a position that you want to be in. Start talking to them, and be very, very creative. There's ways that you can get into these roles. There's various ways that you can get into these roles by just being creative and talking to the right people. Your network is going to be what's going to help you to get into these roles a lot of the times, especially if you don't have any experience. I know a lot of people who come into tech sales from HVAC systems, right? And whether they do good or not, they still get that opportunity to make a lot of money, right? They still get that opportunity to make a lot of money. We got a question. Anam says, what camera are you using? I like the switch. Yeah, so right now what I'm using for this camera right here that you guys are seeing me on directly, I'm using my old Sony A5100 with a 16 millimeter lens. It is a Sigma 16 millimeter lens. And for the switch, I am using my web camera over here. This is a web camera, and what I'm doing is I'm not using a computer, guys. What I'm using is my YOLO Box Live. I think I told you guys about the YOLO Box Live. It's a good way that you can stream, without having to have your computer around. Now, it doesn't give you the capabilities at this point in time because the software hasn't been updated to see super chats and stuff like that. But what you can do is you can see comments, right? And when you can see comments, you can put them on the screen like I'm doing here when I talk to you guys. Let me do this real fast. I got this rag over here. Get my hands. So when I see a comment like this, like before the beans, he said I made that, I can just touch on a screen and I can make these comments come up. But it's a fantastic box. I made that video in imposter syndrome after your video talking about getting into tech sales. I want to get into it, but I didn't think I could be good at it. Absolutely. Well, before the beans, a lot of people didn't think that they'll be good at tech sales, sir. A lot of people didn't think so. And that's the reason why a lot of people don't choose to go into it. But if you were to think about sales at its fundamental level, it's all about building relationships with people. You are selling right now while having a YouTube channel. That's why people are coming back to your channel when your channel is growing and so forth. You sell yourself, and that's all sales is building relationships with people, making sure that you're going to deliver on your promises, and making sure that you deliver on your promises, and having empathy for people and stuff like that. So it is a field that you should definitely consider before the beans, and I think you'll do fantastic at it as well too. It's a fantastic career to get into. Kildu says, when's your birthday, Mr. Wade? My birthday was Thursday. It was October the 28th. It was a fantastic day. Absolutely loved it, but it was a long day. And I put in so much work on my birthday so I can close a contract yesterday. So I closed a $3+ million contract yesterday. So I was able to sleep very good last night. I typically have been struggling with my sleep because here's the thing about sales, right? It is high pressure, high stakes as well too. So I talked to you guys about all the lovely things, right? So a lot of you are saying, Mr. Wade, I want to get into sales because it's a fantastic career to get into. But another piece of it as well too is that, when things aren't going good or when you're working on a deal, it's time consuming. It's a struggle a lot of the times, right? And Ms. Wade, do me a favor, bring out another pan for the sausage as well too. Sausage is looking like it's done. But here's the thing, for sales, it can be very challenging as well. If you're not performing very well, your boss is going to be on your back, right? If they're paying you $200,000 a year and you're not able to sell for the company to get a return on their investment, you're not going to be doing very well. You're not going to be at that company very long because they need you to perform and they're going to be down your back. And you're just not going to have a good time, right? And if there is a deal that you're working on, you want to make sure that you win that deal. And a lot of things you got to negotiate and so forth. And this could be very, very strenuous. It can be very, very hectic. It could be very, very stressful. I mean, last year, when I closed my biggest deal, guys, I'll tell you something like this. This is personal. I lost probably about within 1 week because of just the amount of pressure and negotiations that was going on and so forth. I probably lost about 7 to 10 pounds in a week, right? Because you don't want to eat. Your mind is constantly on trying to get this thing done. Because you know how life-altering it is. You think about it. Guys, making $300,000 a year, making $500,000 a year is life-altering. That's more money than people, making 4 or 5 years a lot of times, 6 years, 7 years. So if you're able to make that amount of money for your family, of course you want to do it, right? This is the only career that you can do that in. And if you're able to do that, you can set yourself up to have success for the rest of your life. And that's what really happened to me is, I got into sales and realized how much money that you can make. And I really started to put all my extra funds into real estate and start buying properties. Now I own 11 that's worth 1.4 million and cash flowing over $7,000 a month for me. Kids can go to private school, um, you know, dine and wine and own boats and all that other stuff, right? So you can do very, very well. But also with the beauty part of it, there's a sacrifice. There's also, stress at times. Yeah, but there's a lot of good. I think the pros outweigh the cons. If you, let's just say this, right? Most companies operate on a fiscal year. It's a 12-month cycle, whether it's, January or calendar year from January to the end of December, or if it's some other time of the year, right? Well, if you are able to meet your quota on the first half of the year, right? Let's just say you operate on a calendar year and you are able to sell your quota and get to, let's just say your quota is $1 million. And quota, guys, is how much you need to sell in order for you to perform at the company that you're working for. And you reach that and you hit that $1 million in February, guys, you can take the rest of the year off. I mean, not literally take the rest of the year off, but you can coast for the rest of the year, or you can put it in high gear. And what you can do is you can chill. You can chill, set yourself up. You can grow your salary even more because you're keeping your foot on the gas, and you sell 2 million. And let's just say it's 15%. That's another $150,000, guys. Let's say you sell 3 million. That's another 450,000. That's a lot of money, right? So, it's a lot of flexibility that comes with this role, but also at the same time is you have to be on top of your day, because if you are not on top of your day and you're just slacking, you're not getting stuff done, they're not going to want you there. And you're not going to stay there very long as well either. So it's very important that you are a person that is in control of your day and can get stuff done. But overall, it's a fantastic career to be in. I think the pros far outsee or outweigh the cons in with my experience, and for most people's experience as well. Now, what I would say is this: is that sales will change you, and what I mean by that is if you're making $400,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $600,000 a year, close to $1 million a year, um, what may end up happening is this. Let me get this off the screen. What may end up happening is this: your lifestyle will change, and once you experience lifestyle creeping, if you don't invest the right way, you're going to always have to be in sales, right? Because you're not going to be able to make that amount of money anywhere else unless you move up the corporate ladder and get into some role of like some sort of CEO. You get equity and stuff like that, right? So you're going to have to constantly stay into a sales role if you're starting to make that sort of money in your lifestyle creeps. I know a lot of people who they went to sales, man, making $300,000 a year for 1 year, and next year they had a terrible year, but they went out and bought that nice little $1 million house, right? And they can't keep that lifestyle up, but besides having to constantly go from one job to another. That's why you see a lot of people when they go into sales, they go from one company, they can kill it, or they go to another company and not kill it. And one company kill it, next year a company not kill it, and so forth. So it is a way that people job hop, and a lot of times they're job hopping because either one, they're getting paid more money and they are killing it, or they're not doing very well and they just need to go somewhere else, right? And, companies are firing them and so forth. Let me get to some of these other questions though. Mace Jenkins says, "Thank you for this, Mr. Wade. I'm a junior now, and your advice has helped me tremendously." I appreciate you, Mace Jenkins. Thank you so much. My sisters and my wife are doing fantastic things for me, right? So I have, you guys are seeing me. I have the grill down here. They are putting cards up here so that I actually can read them instead of having to constantly look over here at the screen. Educated Disciple said, "Black Heights, what are you grilling today?" I am cooking breakfast, my man. I'm cooking breakfast, my man. I got, and I'm so behind right now. Oh, look at that. I have some more meat that I forgot to put on. So what I'm cooking is this. Now I have sausage links, and while I was talking to you guys, I forgot that I didn't cook the sausage links. This is breakfast sausage. I think they have a little bit of honey in them or something like that, but they're maple. They're maple-based sausage links right now. But I cooked hash browns, and I also cooked some bacon, as well as some other ground sausage that we're having. And then I'm also going to be cooking some eggs and some pancakes for the kids. They're like, "Daddy, it doesn't take you this long." Well, that's what happens when you multitask, right? And Daddy multitasks. It takes him a long time to cook sometimes. But I wouldn't want it any other way, especially rocking with my VH members this morning. What else? Let's go back to the chat. Skilldu says, "How many follow-ups until you close in tech sales?" That's a very good question. It depends on how long the deal is, right? It depends on how long the deal is. So our typical deal for the company that I work for is anywhere from 6 months to a year. I'm working on a deal right now that started last November. We had a proof of concept, and it's still going on. And follow-ups, tons, weekly. 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. It is constant until they get to a buying decision. Because here's the thing, right? So the type of sales that we sell, or the type of software that we sell, it's responsible for making sure that products get to from manufacturing all the way to the end customer. So you guys know how, like, toothpaste, right? Toothpaste is manufactured in a facility, and it gets stuffed into a tube, and all of that stuff, all the components that goes into the process of making toothpaste until it getting to you, our software is responsible for that. Well, you think about it from the automotive industry, or think about it from the airplane industry, you got to put all these different components together and work for all these different manufacturers and get it all lined up, and somehow you get an airplane. That software is very costly, right? So you have to make sure that the company, one, has the budget for this type of a thing, and it takes sometimes companies for a whole year to go do a budget cycle, right? And we're talking about $3 million, $4 million of total cost of ownership. Could be $20 million of total cost of ownership, right? So they want to make sure that they're making the best purchasing decision for that overall company, and they have the money to be able to do it, and not only that, the time and the people to be able to implement it as well too. So it could be years, 6 months. The follow-ups could be, I would say a minimum of 50 follow-ups before you close a sale. And you're talking to people over all organizations. 'Cause you know how businesses work, right? You have to talk to people in IT. You have to talk to the people in the business. You have to talk to the people in the support organization. You have to, there's so many stakeholders when it comes to business, and there's not really one ultimate decision maker a lot of the times. And if there is, they want to make sure that they're leveraging people within the organization so that they don't fall flat on their face and they're making the right decision for the overall organization. So it's a lot of follow-ups, guys. Super chat from Aaron Strong. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Aaron says, do I need to know tech to get into tech sales? I am currently a sales coach. No, you don't need to know tech in order for you to get tech sales, but you're going to have to learn about the tech that you're going to be selling, right? So for instance, I'm in a supply chain tech sales, right? So I have to know a lot about supply chain. Now, a lot of people, I use the example of the gentleman who came from HVAC. He didn't know anything about tech at all, but he came over to tech sales because he had the ability to learn and so forth, right? So it is a fantastic way for you to show that you can learn, right? In order for you to get a sales job, as long as you can show that you can demonstrate that you have the ability to learn new things, you can get into tech sales. If you are a person who is currently in sales or have done sales before, you can definitely get into tech sales. You don't have to know anything about tech. As long as you have the ability to learn about the products that the company is selling, you can get into tech sales, Aaron. I appreciate the super chat, by the way, too, brother. Luxury cruise line and looking to break into tech. I've just taught myself Python. Python is fantastic. It's a good coding language, and it's good for big data as well as for doing things as a data scientist and analyst. I would say this: if you're in a luxury cruise line, you're looking to break into tech, I think learning Python is fantastic. But I also say you're going to have to I talked to one of my clients the other day, Marine, good brother of ours, and he's getting into tech as well too. One of the things you're going to have to learn, Aaron, and figure out is what part of tech do you want to be in. There's so many avenues that you can go down in tech, whether you want to be in the cloud, whether you want to be in cybersecurity, whether you want to be a software engineer, when you want to be a business analyst. You're going to have to find something, you're going to have to pick it, right? And whatever it is that's interesting you now that you have a passion for, so if you like coding in Python and you teach yourself how to code, go down the route of a developer or a software engineer because they can make a lot of money. Then you can start to transition into other roles outside of that later on and within your career, sir. So find something that you have an interest in and stay down that path. Stay down that path. The gentleman that I was coaching, he wanted to break into tech. So the first place that he's going to start is by going the help desk route. And then from there, he's going to get some cloud certifications and to become a cloud practitioner. And then he's going to, work towards becoming a cloud architect. So find a path that you are enjoying, that you think, that you like, that you want to pursue, and just go down that path full speed blazing. But the biggest thing is, if you want to go into tech sales, I would say this. There's a couple ways that you can do it. You can come in it from the technical side, like I did as a software engineer and having the multiple roles that I've had within my career, or you can go directly into it from starting from the ground up and becoming a SDR or BDR and shortcut a lot of that process, right? It's up to you and how you want to do that, but there's multiple ways that you can get into the sales industry with that. Let's jump over here. You guys get a chance to see my food. Miss B Finesse is in the house. Good day, stopping by, showing some support. We appreciate you, Miss B Finesse. I'm almost done cooking. Mace Jr. says, "Thank you, Mr. Wade. I'm a junior now. I appreciate that, Mace, man. Thank you so much." Before the Beans said, "Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Before the Beans." Sharonica says, "Congratulations on the new contract." Hey, I say this, Veronica. My wife said, "Congratulations on the new contract too, man." She freaking was happy that I was able to sleep a full night of sleep. I literally slept like 8 hours straight. Most nights, when you're in sales, right, and your mind is always going, especially if you're being a business owner as well. Last night, I slept through the entire night, but most nights, a lot of the times when I have a lot of things going on, what ends up happening is I wake up like 3 o'clock in the morning, my brain doesn't shut off, and then I'm up for like an hour and a half and so forth. And what ends up happening then is I may miss my morning workout a lot of the times because I'm up and I want to go back to sleep. I'm not waking up until 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or something like that, right? Because I was up in the middle of the night. Or if it's at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm struggling in the morning because, then I don't want to work out and I have to force myself to work out and stuff like that. So, the balance is very, very important. And me closing that contract was very important. And my wife was like, "Wow, you slept very good last night." It's like, yes, I did. I did. I love that. Educated Disciple said, "Black Heights." Oh, we got to that one already. Let's go down here. I'll make sure I'm not missing anything. Christian says, "How many deals does a tech salesperson work on in any given quarter?" It really depends on how many you can line up, Christian. It really depends on how many you can line up. So for me, I'm working on, I have a total of 9 in my pipeline right now. A total of 9 in my pipeline that I'm working on, doing some work on at any given point in time. So you can have a lot of deals in your pipeline. And it depends on how many customers you have as well too. There's some people that only have one. A lot of these times you got to create these deals as well too, because you have to find opportunities. And the only way you find opportunities is by talking to people. That's why the relationship component is so important of it is, you know, let's just say they're an existing customer and you're just getting to sales. So let's just say you're working for you come into a sales company and they're selling to VMware, and VMware is a customer of yours, right? And they have one solution, but VMware is big, right? So, your company could have, dozens of solutions that will fit their need, but they're only using one. Well, you need to find a way how you can get the other solutions into VMware. And the only way you can do that is by talking to people, seeing what challenges they have, being on the phone with the team who's doing the implementations and talking to them and hearing what's going on. And if you're able to do that, you're going to hear that some problems and challenges exist. And then you can then create opportunities that way. You can say, "Okay, well, wow, I heard that you're having this challenge in this area. Oh, we have a solution that can help with that." If you're able to hear and understand that these problems exist, you're going to create new opportunities for yourself, which turns into new deals. So you can be working on 9 like myself. You could be working on 1 if you're not doing good. So it really depends on how many customers you have, how many opportunities you're able to create. And think about an opportunity like this, right? You're talking to your friend and you recognize he said something to you about, "Hey, you know what, like, man, I can't get my computer to work." And you say, "Okay, well, have you tried XYZ?" Or you being a person that does some sort of computer repair, you saying, "Well, why don't you bring your computer to me? I can fix that for you, or I can at least, work on that." The only way you would hear about that opportunity is by having that conversation with your friend, right? That's what creating opportunities is about. That's what creating opportunities is about. That's how you're going to be able to sell and obviously extend your company getting into a company like VMware. Kale Juice sent the super chat. I appreciate you, Kale Juice. Thank you so much for the super chat, sir. Happy belated birthday again, and continue creating content. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. I'm going back and forth on the grill right now, getting some some sausage, done some maple sausage in the morning for the family, guys. One thing you guys didn't see, I got a cigar over here in my coffee. I barely took a sip out of it because I've been chatting all morning. And I typically play music in the morning when I'm doing this sort of stuff. But of course, YouTube would demonetize this. And I think it's pretty good information, and I love to share, my experiences with you guys as well too. So I am not playing music this morning, unfortunately. I like to get down to some James Brown in the morning when I'm cooking out here. It's a crisp, beautiful morning here in Austin, Texas. I think it's 59 degrees, but it's going to be a high of 80 or something like that. So you see, I'm not sweating. Where I'm typically usually hot, melting, being in front of this hot grill, but that's not what's happening today. So let's do this. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me this morning. I just wanted to have this conversation. I think I've answered the majority of the questions this morning as well too. I have a little bit more cooking to do, and you guys don't want to see the rest of my cooking journey. But I wanted to have this at the same time, show you guys exactly how I, spend time with the family on the weekend. Daddy gets up, he cooks, Daddy spends time with the family, Daddy drinks his coffee, Daddy talks to people, Daddy, smoking cigars and all this other stuff. So, family man, I love doing this family stuff, and the only way that I can actually do that is being able to buy my time in order for me to do this sort of stuff. So I wanted to spend this time with you guys this morning. Make sure I recapped tech sales because we had that crazy stream on Monday when I was at the vineyard and all the cracks and pops. And I know this one was all over the place. That's the thing. This one was all over the place because of me multitasking and not just sitting down and focusing on tech sales. But I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys that same sort of information in a different environment, and know I had some stuff to do this morning. So guys, thank you so much for rocking with me. Hold on for a second. Oh, we got, Chet Cal says one more question. Hold on. Got some more questions in here that's coming up. With those 9 clients, do you have to close them by the end of the quarter, or is it a honeymoon phase before the close? Very good question, Christian. So the thing is, when you're working on these deals, and it's not 9 clients, I actually only have a total of 3 clients. They're big clients though. When you're working on these deals and these 9 deals, right? You have to forecast when they're going to close. And for companies, how they operate is this, Christian, is how you have a calendar year, okay? January 1st, December 31st. That's broken up by quarters. Well, you have to make sure that you're working with your customer to make a buying decision, and you forecast when they're going to purchase. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into this because your company has to report on the earnings quarterly if they're a public company. A private company, they have to do the same thing for the most part, but not to the markets, right? So you have to forecast when that deal is going to close, and you want to make sure that you close it before the end of the quarter a lot of times. If you're doing it at the end of the quarter, it's going to be a lot of pressure on you, right? So I try to get mine done, middle of the quarter if there's anything like that, or beginning of a quarter. Not towards the end, because that's when executives and stuff like that are going to be down your throat. Oh my God, it's going to come in. It's going to come in. Blah blah blah. Yes, there's a honeymoon phase along the journey. But when you're talking to your company or the customers, you're going to understand exactly where they are in the buying process, and that's where you need to forecast. So if you start with a company or your customer and they say they have an interest, right? You can say, okay, well, typically our sales cycle is about 7 months. So you forecast that closing in 7 months. And as you continue to talk to them, if you need to keep pushing it out, you can, or if you need to bring that back in, you can as well too. So it really depends on, how or when your company or your customer wants to buy from you. And you can dictate a lot of that as well, or either sometimes you can't because budgeting decisions and getting to decision makers and companies making the ultimate decision and when they're going to purchase has nothing to do with you a lot of the time, or who they're going to buy from has nothing to do with you a lot of times. So it's about you forecasting where it's going to land, and you try to stay there. But if you need to move it out, you need to move it out. Everron McKay says, love this. My new favorite podcast. Keep it going in 2022. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Everron. I really appreciate you, man. I do my best. I do my best. I like to bring the knowledge to folks, but also show them, what, how I do things. And I know a lot of people get up in the morning and cook and stuff like that, but I like to cook outdoors a lot of times. And tonight, guys, last night, so you guys see the screen up over here. We watched the Adams Family with the kids. Tonight, we're actually going to camp. I'm setting up the tent. Last night was too cold. It got down to the 47 degrees. Tonight it's going to be like a high of 58 tonight. So it's going to be a perfect time to get the tent up, and we're going to put it back here, watch some movies in the tent, and enjoy ourselves with the kids. So yeah, man, I appreciate you, Evan. I appreciate you guys for being here, watching me burn up these sausage right now. It's starting to get a little dark. They're almost done though. They haven't started exploding yet. So that's the cool thing about this as well too, is if as long as you go low heat, a lot of the times you can multitask and talk and smoke cigars and all that other stuff, and not have to worry about your food burning up. You don't have to worry about that, right? I'm able to do quite a bit of that, and guess what? I haven't made an oopsie yet on the food. The sausage is almost ready. What? Not done yet. Just another minute, I would say. Give me a second. Let me get to this one. Christian says, one more question. Are you also competing against other salespeople for clients? Anyways, thanks for the sharing the knowledge. Yeah, it's a good question, Christian. I'll get to that one right now. Am I also competing with other customers or other? Are you also competing against other salespeople for clients? No. So what happens is this, Christian. Let me put this back on me. Switch back to here. What happens is this, Christian, is your company assigns you accounts that you need to sell into. Most companies allow it is in my under my it is my understanding that most companies have people to penetrate the accounts at different levels. Our company does it this way. One person gets an account. They don't want anybody else into that account with them. So no, I'm not competing with other salespeople within my organization for my client's attention or for sales. So it's not like this ruthless thing where, it's like, okay, well, Christian and I works for the same company, and I'm trying to sell to somebody like VMware, right? And Christian is trying to sell into VMware as well. No, 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 no. At least that's not how my company does it. Other companies can do it that way, right? You go and find everything that you kill, but for tech sales, a lot of times that's not how it is. They will assign you accounts that you're responsible for owning. If you're not able to do anything with it, they eventually get to a point where they say, okay, well, they can reshuffle. And then, if the lottery hits, you may have one of the coolest accounts that is ready to buy. And there's sometimes where companies just aren't ready to buy and make a buying decision during that time that you have the account. And, if you have made no progress on that account can go back into a pool, get reshuffled, and assigned to somebody else. So they try to, for the most part, keep the competition out of the salesperson inside the company, so you're not fighting. And Christian and I won't be fighting for the same account. So uh, uh, you won't have to worry about that, Christian, where you're going to be fighting against other salespeople in there. But I would tell you this: being in sales, a lot of the times, because you are competing, you don't leverage the people that's on your team to gain knowledge. A lot of the times, you choose for some reason. I don't know why it's like that, but a lot of times, what ends up happening is you don't leverage the people who are on your team a lot of the times because you're competing against them. You want to see yourself walking across the stage a lot of the times, and they could have new ways of doing things or things that they've learned and new tricks and stuff like that. But you don't. A lot of times, at least in my experience, a lot of times people in sales don't leverage them. I don't have a lot of people within my organization reaching out to me, although I'm a top performer, asking me, "Hey, Mr. Wade, blah blah blah." No, a lot of people. I don't know why. I think it's something with the competition and people's egos, not wanting to ask, Tom Brady. I'm not going to say I'm Tom Brady, but I'm just going to say it like this: like it's kind of like being in the sports world and you're a quarterback, right? And you're a mediocre quarterback. A lot of times you're not going to just run up to Tom Brady and ask him, what it is that you can do to improve. That's just how human nature is a lot of the times, and that's how it happens in sales as well too, to where a lot of people, even if they're doing poor, and they can learn something from somebody who's doing very, very well, some reason their egos just doesn't allow for them to do something like that. But yes, that's what I would say about that, Christian. But guys, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me this morning. Thank you so much. I have to get the pancakes on here now and the eggs, and then I'll be done. But thank you so much for spending the time with me this Saturday morning. I'm already past the hour mark. The show was a little bit late today, and thank you so much um, for being a patron. Do me a favor, make sure you hit the like button before you leave here today. Also, we're going to do another show on next Saturday. You'll find me in between 8:30 and 9. And good guys, have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your day. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to go to the vineyard today. My sisters are in town, as I mentioned, and we're going to just enjoy our day and spend some time with the family celebrating my birthday as well as their birthdays that's coming up on November 3rd. And until next time, y'all. Peace.